It is time for the second round of the 14th KG Ladies Open from Sunning Point Country Club in Yongin-shi. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you along. This is moving day, and yes, it is just round number 2, but we're playing 54 holes of stroke play golf this week here at Sunning Point. And it was a thriller yesterday with some fantastic scores that were posted. We are most certainly intrigued by the performance of the rookie Chun Sung-yi. We'll follow her closely, as we will our defending champion, Pae So-hyun, who last year won in a 3-hole playoff over Pak Bo-gyam. My name is Adam Jenkins. It is a pleasure, as always, to be behind the microphone on the KLPGA Tour, settling in for the next 3 hours here in one of the world's premier golfing tours. Chun Yoon-ji, she's also at that 5-under score. This is a putt for birdie. That takes her to a tie for 6th position, already surpassing her score from yesterday when she had carded as 69. She is 4 under after 10 holes of play. Our leader is Shin Da-in. She shot a 66, following up her 67 yesterday. It is currently 3 strokes clear of Ko Chi-won and the aforementioned Chun Sung-yi. Here's no Sung-yi. With a wedge just before the water, plays it right towards the flag. Will roll back out onto the green. About 4 meters clear and certainly a birdieable distance. Things aren't so swell over on 9. This is Kim In-sun 7, who at the moment is tied for 8th, but is in some trouble, to put it mildly. All the eyes on her, ensuring that the ball is struck fairly, not moved before she addresses it, etc. As she is absolutely buried beside the shrubs. This is a predicament, to put it mildly. Question of free relief, I think, will be perhaps asked. It might not be free. Just not free relief. In the meantime, EA1, who is at 2 under par, she's going to play a pitching wedge here at number 8. Directly over a little tree in the center of our screen. You see the flag with not much in the way of wind. It's almost exactly 100 meters out. We'll play a little bit longer with a change in elevation. And just like No Sung-yi, she goes and attacks the pin, though she, EA1, is on the fringe as the ball comes to a stop. Still no updates here as of yet. What we can tell you is that it's been a rocky start for Kim In-sun 7, just in terms of the lack of birdie. She hasn't bogeyed, which of course is always a way to build the confidence, certainly after carding 3 bogeys yesterday. So now that we've determined that the ball is unplayable, now it's a matter of from which direction, which angle did the ball enter the shrubs, get the driver out, flip it over twice, make sure you have taken the relief properly, and from there, well, she can attempt a shot. So while she has a little bit of misadventures out in the trees, her groupmates who are already in or around the green are patiently waiting their turn. That's Im Jin-young being a little inventive in how to stay cool. Nice pack on the head. Fair enough. She's up 41 positions already today through 11 holes. Shot an even par 72. And is up to 4 under. Chenu 1 stroke behind her. And 3 under. It's a 143-meter approach here at 11. She will be looking to stay close to the right. Now, there is a bunker there. She'll have to navigate around. Doesn't for one moment even consider risking being short from the rough to the opposite side of the green. Now it looks like we might finally have something of a resolution here. So there is no free relief. This is not a man-made or artificial obstacle. So this is shot 6. She's finally away from the foliage. We'll get our answer as to where she ends up on the green. That will be for 7. You can play 53 of your 54 holes error-free or as close to as possible. It just takes one to really be an ungluing. Now Pei So-hyun won the tournament last year with a score of 67, 68, 67 for 202 on the aggregate. He's there or thereabouts, still inside of the top 10. The double bogey putt, really close. Will be a little consolation, unfortunately. We'll take her all the way down to 2 under par. That's out of the top 30. A bit of a nightmare on the par 5. Now EA1. Elected to putt from the fringe. Its downhill speed isn't the issue. It was certainly a consideration. And here's Zidongan. After 2 shots on the par 5, she is in the rough. 552 meters. Remarkable distance. And somehow, not the longest hole on course. From the rough, that's about as close as she could have reasonably expected. And I know Sungi. Not a gimme, but certainly a distance from which we've seen her make many a birdie this season. It's downhill as well, and just like EA1, she breezes on by.
지금 진짜 허했던 데 정도만 막아도 되겠는데?
Andy Gayong. This is shot 4 for her now. She'll want it to not clear the fringe by much, if at all. Backspin will help. Yeah, it's a nice touch. Matasson. Her first hole on the point course, number 10. Also putting from the fringe and looking to break into the under par scores. Great line, perfect speed, and that's a birdie. Well, even par also relevant in terms of the projected cut line. You need to be, at least at the most recent refresh of the leaderboard, at even to to qualify for the weekend. We have 70 athletes at the moment who are even or better from the 120 in the fields. Well, it's looking loud. Okay, so Hyun, yep, blast that up into the hillside near the cart path. She's a defending champion, and she's a winner this season already, having taken the crown at the Aurora World Ladies Championship almost a month ago exactly, but it's been rocky sailing since then with a 51st in T39 finish in the events following. And she won her very first career title, and what a title to win. A $300 million one payday, and joining an esteemed list of Korea Women's Open golf champions. Speaking of winners, of course, EA1, she's always considered in that category. Already 3 on the season. Back-to-back tee shots perfectly into the fairway, and the star-studded group is on the march. Overcast conditions again today. It looks as though the rain will mostly stay away. There is always a chance. This number of clouds in the sky. Well, now Kim Min-sun 7. This is a crucial hole for her day and for her tournament bounce back after a triple. Her approach at the 10th. Heads off without pin high into the rough. Pardon me, into the fringe just before the rough. Kim Min-ju's turn, 113, middle of the fairway. Wondering if she went even with more angle than just a pitching wedge there, and she's a bit short. Chung Yoon-ji, who picked up 4 birdies on the way out, just the one bogey. It came with a par 4 8th. The stretch from 10 to 13 yesterday was on par on each and every hole. She had her big triumph in the spring, winning the Suyat Bank MBN Ladies Open. She's inside the top 20 in scoring average, points, and prize money won this season. Great greens and regulation player, 79% when you round up. Great with her irons and wedges. Great to see Chung Soo-mi. She had teed off on hole number 10, so this will be the midway mark of her round. It was quite the day for the rookie yesterday with 9 birdies. It's 9 and 13 today. She is looking to avoid her first here at 18. Still with a little bit of work to do. And Jae-nu. A long way back across the green towards the front right side. Get over. Centimeters away from a very impressive birdie. On the par 5, EA1 with what looks like a 5-wood in hand. A couple of birdies on the way in would give her a little bit of breathing room. We're not often worried about her missing the cut. What we are worried about in this moment is this for the defending champ. Up in the hillside, pick a spot through the trees. Based on that reaction from the gallery, I'd say she's accomplished it. How close to the fairway did she get is the understandable follow-up question. The answer is decently close, but she'll be playing her third on the incredibly long par 5 from the rough.
자, 볼 봐.
물 보세요.
볼.
볼.
볼 봐. 민석. 볼.
예원아 볼.
The most polite way to say get out of my way. If anyone didn't know she was in the trees, they certainly need to keep their head on the swivel. Looks like the fairway's open. She's just going to play a hybrid. This will drop quite significantly down into the fairway, but with that skip, she heads back into the rough. Most importantly, she does avoid the bunker. Back at 10. Kim Sun 7. This is the up part of the equation, trying to get up and down. Plays a low flight into the hillside, takes the speed right out of it. She'll have a tap in par. Speaking of Suni and the fact that she was fighting it a little bit at 18. This is one where she wants to minimize the damage. It's a right to left breaking putt for bogey. Takes her to 7 under, even for the round after 9, and tied for third, 4 strokes back. Kim Ju is next at 10. Starting it to the center of our screen, it will break to her right. It does exactly that, it just breaks a little late. It is approach time. Understandable oohs and ahs as that is just about pin high. looping break, and Zheng Yunji will have a short par. On to the next. EA1 now her third at 9. As we've seen, you got to be all the way to the back left of the green here. So again, this is 4. It has to be close. That's some trouble, isn't it? Short of the green. As we zoom out, we see the sand, which seems exactly where she headed. All right, let's take our first break of the afternoon, shall we? Shin Dae-in, our leader, 11 under with another 66 today. She has been fantastic through 36 holes. It is a 3-stroke advantage over Ko Chi-won, who shot a 68 in this second round. And rounding out the podium positions for now, well, Chun Sung-yi, after her bogey, she's down to 7 under, sharing that spot with Choi Lim and Yoo Hyun Jo. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more from Sunning Point. And welcome back. We knew it would be daunting. The reverse angle from behind the bunker showed just how tricky it would be, and Bae So-hyun, well, this hole from the underworld, I suppose it's turning into, has taken another twist, and not a welcome one. Drama on that particular approach. Now Bae So-hyun, is she heading back to the sand to hit a provisional? Might not even be a provisional, it might be a drop. If that's OB, she's going to have to play from here. Suddenly this is shot 6. Shot 7, beg your pardon. Seen this course claim a few victims. We had a quadruple bogey yesterday as well. These par 5s are not for the faint of heart. Well, that's more like it. But that is the putt for 8. Might be on for another quad, and that could just about extinguish any chance that we'll have a defending champion. Well, EA1, just a short tap in for the par. Yourself clear of even. Tilt down pretty quick to catch that ball roll off the backside of the green. And this is for 8. Exasperated shout tells us what we feared. Quadruple bogey, and suddenly the defending champion is all the way down to 1 under. That's 10 strokes back. Doesn't take much on a challenging course such as this. Here's Kim Min-sun 7. She evidently made the right decision by playing just a short wedge. Big uphill swing from there as well, so don't fault her for thinking that she needs a little bit more. And No Sung-yi. Stays too straight. In fact, it breaks the opposite way. Even 36 for No Sung-yi at the midway. Kim Min-ju for birdie at 11. Big uphill putt. And did a pretty good job navigating it. Mark off with a short putt for par left. Jung Yoon Ji with a big crescent shape left to right breaking putt. Speed was just about perfect. Well, that's a lovely kick off the fringe. It's about as perfect as you could have asked for. What a shot. Birdie, very much a slam dunk from that short range. Now Kim Min-sun 7 after her tough hole at 10, putting for par. Plenty of break. That's what she's preparing for at least. Well read.
시작하겠습니다. 자.
Birdie here yesterday for EA1 as she begins the hole with a cut drive to the right side of the fairway. Now Sungi is next to begin the back nine. This is Pei-So Hyun. She's had a little bit longer than I'm sure she would have liked to reflect back on the quads. Might just have hung on into the fairway. Fortunately for her, there's a lot of golf left to be played to try to put the quadruple bogey in the rearview mirror. Oh, that's gonna go, isn't it? So Jean with her first birdie of the day, and does so in rather dramatic fashion, bringing her within 2 more birdies of the cut line at the moment. From off the green, that's one of the best shots of the weekend so far. Jin Young with another birdie today, give her 5, and after a 72, pardon me, after a 72 in the opening round. Seen a few par 6s listed on the course, but that's not for these professionals. It's still a par 72.
넘어갈 정도 아니어가지고.
Here on the par 3, the next tee shot. So heading in a similar direction towards the back, just where everyone is. I would think with such a strong crosswind, be a little bit more centrally located, but you also understand that such a pin placement and a crosswind that you take a little bit extra off of it. The backspin, it's just not going to help. Not enough of it. So hard to manipulate when you're not on the fairway. Jung Seung-Yi. 6 under for her, but is looking at this downhill putt for a birdie. Left to right break. She read the line well. She won on the Dream Tour last year. Made 5 cuts in 18 regular tour events this season, yet she has not been able to finish in the top 10 up until what seems like this week. But we will put the cart before the horse. And Pei-So Hyun Approach time at 10. So wasn't able to dig in. She'll roll off the fringe, pardon me, and border the rough. All right, while we wait for Feature Group to make it to the 10th green, we'll step aside once again. Shin Na-in's lead is still at 3. Chun Sung-yi is even after 11 with that birdie. Still tied for third after a bit of a dip in the past few holes. Yunei Reem also at 6 under par, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is your top 6. Pang Min-ji, worth highlighting, she shot a 71 today, still in search of that elusive 20th career victory, and we'll never say never when we think about tomorrow's final round. But still lots more golf to be played today before we get there. Stick with us. and welcome back. Around the green on hole number 10. Nosugi had the first chip. And at the 12th, this par 3. It's a decent first putt, leaving a short tap in for the par. Certainly from that distance, that will be more than something she could tolerate. Peso Hyun almost holes out from off the green. She rolled over the cup, but was a fraction off from hitting the flag and giving herself the slightest of chances that it would fall. Well, now EA1, this is for 2 under. She's going to need a birdie or 2 here. Take some of the pressure off so close to that projected cut line. G, just a little short. So Hyun, no. She did the hardest part from off the green, but that putter is doing her no favors. It will be another bogey, and all of a sudden, she's at risk of missing the cut. She's not the only one to struggle with the flat stick at the moment, as evidenced by a rather shocking miss. No such trouble for Nosugi. She has her par secured. And EA1, oh, she's missed as well. That is 3 absolutely shocking bogeys in the last 90 seconds. Peso Hyun and EA1 both down at even par. That is quite the emerging story, and not for very good reasons. Also, he bogeyed here yesterday. Starting this 11th, 359-meter par 4. Drive heads towards the bend in the fairway, but should have stopped just short.
알겠습니다.
Concludes the opening driver shots from this group that could use an injection of confidence, to put it mildly, and this dogleg right par 4 could just be the ticket. Hyun coming from the front side of the 18th green and coming on down and nearly completing what would have been a 38-yard putt for a birdie. That's a good crack. Now Im Young. This is her putt for birdie from the fringe at 14. If anyone was to make it, we would expect it to be her based on how well she has played today. And that's a nice finish. An Ji-hyun saves the par. She goes out with an even 36 with birdies at 10, or a birdie at 10, pardon me, and a bogey at 11. Lee Dungin will tee off here at 12 with a 5-iron. 172 meters. It is the longest of the par 3s on the course. scanning down through the rangefinder. What's ahead? What do we play? And the new ball is delivered. You don't just end up on this hill. You're on this hill because something has gone wrong. That is unfortunately the exact case for Young here. After being OB off the tee, Lee Young's third shot is able to stay on the green. That will be what separates her from a bogey, and hoping that it is just the one dropped shot.
거리 충분히 갈 것 같지 않아? 어. 46. 프로까지는 52. 타워 살짝 왼쪽으로. 그래서 몇 개 들어가도 되는데.
There's EA1. It's a big kick off the fairway just before the green. You're a long way off from the pin. So Hyun also from a position in the rough, a 6-iron. All right, so 12 has been a difficult nut to crack. This course hasn't been for Ian So. The low amateur at 4 under, her approach at 18, only 156 meters away. Joey G2 at plus 16 to say that this hasn't been a particularly easy 2 rounds so far, would be an understatement. She's 114th out of 114. We did have 4 withdrawals. Han-Nak Young, Hung Yeon So, Kim Ji-hyun, and Chung Soo-yeon. Soon-yi gets her up onto the green.
커요?
And to 12, Lee Dong-eun. This is for 5 under. Downhill, but needs to break left. Starts to at the end. ENG approaching at 13. Yeah, that's a great one. This is the point at which it landed had led me to believe that she'd be closer. It's carrying a bit too much speed. Now Chun Sung-yi, who is still at 7 under with a chip from the fringe, playing some par golf right now, and as a rookie, that's not a bad place to be. And elsewhere around the course, this is Kim Min-ju. Lands in the fairway, rolls up onto the fringe and sits there. She can putt, she can chip from a decently close position, which is not what Pae So-hyun can say at 11. With how she has struggled with her putter, to say that she needs to be close would be an understatement. Floats it half the distance to the flag. That's much better from the defending champion. More setup shots. Time to get back to the brass tacks with the A1 at 11. Moving over, but staying inside the whole flight. Gain. We'll still have 9 holes to go after this. It basically means she needs to birdie every other one to have a shot at making the cut. Putt is a little short. Starting off 13. With the drive into the fairway. No Sungino. Has a chance if it's got the speed, just short. That was perfectly read, just needed a little more oomph on the putt. She'll have to settle for a par.
네.
And now Chung Yin-ji, who's just inside of the fringe. Was a fantastic effort as well. A bevy of pars out of this group, assuming the final putts go as they should. Hear the whack as she gave that putt. Quite a bit of speed. She needed to. From well down the hill. Just about. She went with the putter from the fringe. It was the right choice, but always felt like two-shot territory from there. Another uphill putt with the same result, just short. Sungi's beginning at 12. She knows it's trouble. She was hoping for a savior, but she splashes just like Lee Ga-young had done. If anyone was due for a birdie, other than perhaps Bae So-hyun, it would have been Kim Min-sun 7. Bae So-hyun takes her stance. She's next. She's on the green in the right corner. Fortunately, the flag is in the left corner, though that is admittedly a better situation than the one Nosumi finds himself in currently. And Ian So out with a 34. She's at 4 under with birdies at 14 and 60. More like it. Exactly where you'd want to be. Unfortunately for Nosumi, it was the penalty stroke. Away on 10 with a driver around the trees. Long way off the green, up on the hill. Navigating a tough line with enough that should help her get it down. We can put it that way. Well, the up was impressive. The down was the important part. It's a good par. And we'll conclude with 2 shots at 10 from this group. It's not where she wanted to place that drive. That's pretty evident. Okay, so again, this is for birdie from the opposite side of the 12th green. Won't have much in the way of break until the very end when it goes uphill and moves left. Young, and this is for 5 under at 13. Interesting pin placement where it feels like the hole's in a bit of a valley here. Not much break either way until the end. It's quick and it's straight, and it's unfortunately for her just off. Now EA1. Not time to worry yet, but that drop to even is troublesome. That's still out of the putter. She'll have to settle for par. Gazing towards the mountains in beautiful Gyeonggi, the Sunning Point Country Club. We are well around the 3/4 mark of the day for many of our groups in contention. Chung Seung-hee, she's still even. She is the closest to the top of those still on course, though Chung Yoon-ji hot on her heels. And Chung Ju-ri is 5 under through 10 out of nowhere. She's up to 6 under par, tied for 6th, and only 5 back. Our projected cut is still even. That's relevant with the likes of Pae So-hyun and EA1 in and around that score. We'll continue to follow their rounds and many others when we return to the 14th KG Ladies Open. A beautiful day, the final weekend in August. Hard to believe September is just around the corner. We're nearing the midway mark of our coverage of the second round of the 14th KG Ladies Open. There's Chung Yoon-ji, who of the players still working on their back nines, is one of the most intriguing, certainly. She is within 5, but also tied for 6th, and that race for 2nd is as tight as any on the course right now. Kim Min-sun 7. This is a putt for eagle. 470-meter par 5. She's on and close after 2. Huge triumphant celebration. This is the same player that had a triple at 9 and a bogey at 12. All of a sudden, she has thrown her hat right back in the ring. See if, even though that's not how it works at all, we'll just say, let's see if that sparks something in the way of birdies. Had a lot of bogeys in the past hour, so I think we're due. It's a close call to exactly what we were talking about, but it's going to be slightly off. Sung in so close to her birdie at the 9th. They'll hit the turn with a par and a 4 under score. Well, Pacquiao, after 27 holes, is at 2 under. Chun Sung-yi, she's now on hole 14 of her day. Choyan +1 today through 9 holes. The last in the group to begin. starting 15 with a drive that just stays in. A fortunate bounce back into the fairway. Marvelous shot. It's going to be a bit too quick to stay on, but she covers off that hole well. This is ENG next. Young at 14 sends it high. Skips onto the green and rolls up the hill. This will work out to an absolute treat. We just had one eagle here at the 14th, and it looks like we might not be far away from another. Left side pin placement. It's been easily found through the group so far. Jin Young riding a great wave of momentum. And now Chun Sung-Yi for 8 under par. This would move her into a share of second. Oh, kicks out the side. Coach Yu, this is the less likely look at an eagle, but it would suddenly give her a little bit of safety in terms of the cut. Going. Really good effort. Give her 3 birdies now on the day. second to last hole. 6 under, as we know, is tied for 6th. Speed is there. Line is slightly off. Duggan from the border of the fringe. And yes, 6 under. What a brilliant putt. 4 birdies, but she hadn't had anything in the way of going up since the 5th hole. She breaks that streak in style. G. Another long putt, not quite enough on it. Young, as the wind begins to pick up, rain might not be far away. Has her go as well. It's a couple of holes removed from a double bogey. She erases that and returns to even par on the back 9. Gibson 7 for birdie at 15. It's a bit too quick. Par. Finishing the hole just where she started it. Songi on the second to last. She does not have a stroke to give. Four is the shout. That's not a good sign. That's actually going to work out okay. It was tense, I'm sure, watching that sail towards the trees. Also off the fairway, though she came close to trickling back in. We're 0 for 2 off the tee so far. This brings us to 17 with Kim Soo-ji. Heading towards the sand trap. The rough will actually prevent her from reaching the bunker. ENG, haven't seen too many from her short like that.
마이크가 맥혀. 왼쪽은 별로 어차피 다 흘러가서 별로 안 좋으니까. 풀만 더 잡거든. 그냥 받치면 될 것 같아.
Reaching the green. Depth-wise, it was just about exactly on. Go to 6. 4 holes to go. The budding sensation. That is Chun Seung-hee this week. Absolutely dialed in today. Still there or thereabouts, despite a brief slip up. Directly online, but over the flank. He's been chasing it a little bit today. through the green, up the hill into the rough, stopping just before the bunker. Just off. Left to right breaking putts. At least one more. Taking a big chunk out of the remaining yardage on this par 5. We, meanwhile, will head to the cart path on Sung-Yi. Sparks fly as she strikes the ball at 17 from the asphalt to the perfectly manicured green. Yep, we might need a new club. Get the metal brush out. And yeah, that's hot. Never not to be impressive to me how well these athletes can make the toughest shots look so simple. Soaring on down. She's lucky at how the fringe was cut. That little oblong shape to the left of the green as Kim Soo-ji has landed. Helpful roll down the hill into a spot from which birdie is more than a maybe. So probably should. And now Kim Young just inside the fringe of the par 3, and she has a birdie. Gets her back to even for the round after her 68 yesterday. She was 5th after 18 holes. For Im Jin Young, inside of the top 10, heading into the final round is always a good place to be. Sometimes the gallery does just as good a job, if not better, than what I can offer you. It's the rightful reaction to a shot just like that. Now, striding across the green. And here on the par 5, VA1, the long putts, coming very close. It's a wonderful birdie, and she needed it. It is her first since hole number 4, 10 in the making, and a little breathing room from the cut line at long last. And moving over just as it got to a level point of the hole, but it's going to require one more putt. Young, this is for 4 under on the par 4 15th. ENG back to her birdieing ways. She's only bogeyed twice today, and each time she's followed it up with a birdie. Well, the gallery was ready to roar, and it would have been justifiable. Kim Soo-ji's one of the best on tour from those chipped shots from around the green over the years. You'd have to count on, you need to borrow a friend to count on your hands how many times she's been able to do it. She comes close again. Now Cheonu. Fourth shot at 18. Oh, a couple of those today. You need speed to get up the hill, but if you got that much speed, you need to hit the flag. That's why it stays in. Now in Sung-yi. He was never going to believe that was going to fall. All you can do is try. behind Jin Young. The back right corner of the 18th green. They go joint 6th. Lots of speed. Perfect amount of break. She's tied for 7th. What around 32, 34, 66 and 6 under. Not a bad bounce back after it being even after 18 yesterday. More and more players coming through and concluding their rounds. We still have several, though, with lots to prove today, including Chungju Ri, who's all the way up to page 1, tied for 3rd, 6 under through 13. She is on pace for the top round of the day. When we come back, hour 3 begins at Sunning Point as our coverage of the 14th KG Ladies Open will continue. And welcome back. 4 p.m. local time in Yongin. Into the 16 with Lee Ga-young. A 7-iron on the par 3. Essentially lands at pin high and rolls about a dozen meters or so a little further along. Can't fault anyone who decides that that bunker is a risk not worth taking. She's walking it in. That's often a very good or very poor sign. I think in her case, she knew it was just not going to have the speed. Kim Na-young at 7 for birdie, yes. 5 under with 2 holes still to play. It's a deserved ear-to-ear smile after adding another to her tally today. Shot that just misses the green off to the right. She's been waiting for that one. Unlikely, but thoroughly impressive putt for a birdie. And Lee Ga-young. The gallery was ready to erupt once again. And now Jung In-ji in the hillside, her third at the 17th. Gently plays that over the fringe and rolls it to about 4 meters away. Dungen gently guided towards the pin. right and finishing centimeters away. And look at Chung Yun-ji lending a helping hand. It's sportsmanship, but she also knows that she's going to want that flag back in a moment. And Kim Soo-ji approaching on her final hole of the round. Dealing with a little bit of a headwind working against her on that long flight. Mata Sohm, 1 under. Guys that to the back right corner. It's a good on. And Jung Yoon-ji close, but unfortunately. Third shot from in and around the green is required, and that's bad news. Air-piercing crack of a driver. And this first shot heads off into the rough. Problems with that first shot. Chung Yoon-ji delivers her drive into the fairway. A beautiful day with a few players still making their case to climb the leaderboard on a moving day in Yongin-shi. And welcome back. Closing time for Chung Yoon-ji and her group. Second shot on 18 is going to take a very helpful roll down the cart path. Sometimes missing isn't the worst possible outcome. Not something you'd ever try on purpose, unless you're in the most desperate of situations, but when it happens, sometimes all you can do is shake your head and smile. Putts at 18. So she knew she was close. Hui Dong-eun with the pitching wedge. The second to last hole. Big push from the wind with the breeze very much at her back. And probably would have preferred to be in the sand from there, if we're being honest. That's going to be heels on the edge of the bunker time. Soames starting it inside, breaking back. Tough putt to read. She did a good job of it. Kim Soo-jin, 70 in the first round, 71 today. She's tied for 26th after 36 holes. Too quick. Well, here on 14, it's Hanbit Na, who has stopped just at the edge of the green, alongside the fairway. It is a improbable look at a birdie, but let's see what she's got. Just about had to stand corrected. She hit that flag dead on. And even then, too quick. Well, she's been in an excellent run. Kim Na-young has another birdie to add to her daily total. Jungju Ri has been playing some of the best golf of anyone on the course today. That would have taken her to 8 under par and a tie for the runner-up position, but she was slightly right with that putt. Topsy-turvy day for Kim Min-sun 7. Her setup shot at 18 with the hybrid is just wide. Chung Yun-ji next. Taking a relief from the cart path. She goes a bit too long. Too much club from the rough. Dungen taking an extra beat, knowing that a missed putt here knocks her down a peg to 5 under. And No Sungi next. Cannot afford another bogey in the final 3 holes. At least not without a birdie on the run-in. Downhill putt from inside the fringe. Doesn't quite break enough. Lee Young goes up with a great putt. One hole to play. She is moving up towards that top 25. And a bit too straight, wasn't it? A bit too quick on top of it. And from off the green, nearly into the bottom of the cup. It's a decent try from Chung Yun-ji, to put it rather mildly.
고맙습니다.
All right, here on 17. Just 2 holes to play. The first is this par 4, and it's Lee Young. Fresh off her birdie, leading off the group. Dungan's exciting day continues. She's nearing the end, as are all three of our featured groups. Junie at 5 under. Client rounds still time for a top 10 position, which is no small feat. Second last year, a tie for fifth as well, the two best results in Junie's career thus far. Our third top 10 finish, and she's about 21 holes away from it. As we're near the bottom of the clock, let's update things. Chung Seung-Yi has just one hole to play. She is exactly where she was when the day began. Trouble for her is that Shin Da-in shot a 66, and she's not the only one. Im Jin-young also in with a 66 after being even par after round one. Still about half an hour to go, so don't you think about changing the channel. We'll have more from the 14th KG Ladies Open in just a few minutes. No better way to welcoming you back. 14th KG Ladies Open than with a great putt. It's a putt for par. Put to an end. A rather interesting day for Kim In-sun 7. The highs and lows on the sports were well illustrated today. Hole number 9, which is the last of the round for Kim Na-young. Wasn't sure if she should like it or not. I'd say she's somewhere in the middle. No, a full 180 degrees around the hole. Kim Min-ju, it's an unfortunate way to end the day with a bogey. It's 2 under, tied for 35th after 36. And Jung Yoon-ji was able to par. Checkered day, 3 bogeys, 4 birdies, 5 under, with a bit of a tumultuous back 9. And here the par 3, just enough flight to avoid the sand on the rough. The fringe does its job. And Yi Dong-eun, 318, a 12.3 meter drop. That is not insignificant. Another one to find the cart path. Umbrella's not just for sun safety, it's for golf ball safety as well. Bit of a gentle assist from the winds, aiding her towards the flag. That is a really good on. Lee Ga-young, after 2 strokes at 18, finds herself in the hillside rough. Only 136 meters to go. And working all the way down to about 20 centimeters. Ga-young saving one of her best for last. The razor thin margins. Well, by my count, this is at least the fourth shot of the day from on or beside the cart path. For Idong, it is her third. The last hole of the day, 97 meters ball, about a foot above her in her stance up on the hill. And she is not able to escape the fringe. The A1, there was a moment, a slim moment, but nevertheless a moment, where we were asking serious questions about whether or not she would make the cut. She has certainly given us reason to believe that she will in fact be around tomorrow. Now, Kim Na-young, she was hoping that that would be her last shot of the day, but alas, it is missed slightly to the inside.
네, 알겠습니다.
Mosuni has arrived here on the 18th. And while we've been keeping our eyes glued to the top of the leaderboard, that even par line is another area where some attention is due. This is Kim Na-young to finish the round at 6 under par. Will be a little right to left break for her. She has her par, and she has reached the end of a day that, if not for a triple bogey at 13, she could have been in sole possession of second, but she showed how dangerous she can be to the rest of the field when she gets that putter working, which it was on multiple occasions today. Also in this group, Chung Seung-hee. It is still a wonderful story, but compared to yesterday, there have been many more potholes and bumps in the road. So bogey at the last, drop her down to a tie for 5th. She had 3 today, only 2 birdies. It's a 73 in the second round. So that gets EA1 officially underway. Has a bit more breathing room than she has done, or has had, pardon me, in the past 45 minutes or so. That projected cut line still at even. Our leader still at 11 under. Chun Seung-hee officially in the clubhouse with a 73. Chung Ju-ri through 15 on pace for a 67. Sungana, Eugenia, and Moon Jung-min all either at or on pace for 69s here on a Saturday in Yongin. Welcome back. A race for a split of a 1,000,000,001 putt, as well as the Buddy campaign. Wonderful sponsors that make this tour happen, always looking to give back a little more to the greater community. KG, our presenting sponsor this week, is no different. It's a bit of a dangerous spot to be on 18 with these players taking a grip and rip approach. Distance is your #1 ally on 18. It can lead to some great things. It can lead to some tricky situations like Lee Dungen finds herself here. But that had absolutely no break whatsoever.
잘한다. 하나, 네. 오, 저렇게 머리하게 생겼는데 진짜. 딱 좋아하는 거리.
It's about as pure as a second shot can be struck. Dead center of the fairway.
고맙습니다.
Was the birdie. Conclude the day for Ige Young, who finishes just outside of the top 10. What a round. 4 birdies, an eagle, a double bogey as well, and a bogey. A little bit of everything. The next second shot at 18 is delivered without any drama.
천천히 쳐.
They dug in at the end of the road, back-to-back bogeys, unfortunately. 2 of 4 today, with 4 birdies and an eagle on the card as well.
경기원 좀 올려주세요.
Can't move that cable. It's essential to what we're trying to do here with our broadcast. So don't want to move it, and move the golf ball. It's a bit of a predicament. Going to need some clarification from the rules officials on standby. A1 is in her approach nevertheless. While we wait, Snow Sungi prepares. One thing she can't do is bogey. Par is fine. Bogey might mean a missed cut, though. She has 2 putts to qualify for tomorrow. Overhit shot well off to the right. Again, it's right by the cart path, but this time for Bae So-hyun, it is buried in the rough, pardon me.
이거는 판단이 되지 않을까? 어디 완전 회전에 얘기하네? 약간 살짝 맞게 치는 게 필요 없잖아? 그거는 문제 안 될 것 같아. 그러니까 왼쪽 가더라도 저 왼쪽, 그리고 왼쪽 언더스밖에 안 갈 것 같아. 이렇게 꼬꾸라지지 않을 것 같아. 맞게 치니까.
Still no update as to how EA1 can and should proceed, so patience is being tested here. Again, to recap the situation, EA1 is right of the cart path in the rough, and her ball is actually stopped directly beside, if not on, one of our camera cables.
불러주신 거 맞죠?
네.
There's a couple of questions to answer. Can I move it? Should I move it? And if I move the cable and the ball inevitably moves, would that be in any way, shape, or form resulting in a penalty? This is a matter of great importance. She is still close to the cut line. She doesn't really have any strokes to give. Here comes the answer to our
이게 움직일
questions.
수 있는 방해물이기 때문에 볼에 마크 안 하셔도 되고 치우고 다시 리플레이
My
싸면 돼요. 볼이
assumption would
움직였을
be
경우에.
mark the
마크
ball
하고 해야
with
되나요?
the two
안 해도 돼.
안 해도 돼요?
네네,
아.
안 해도
move the cables out of the way.
지금 한 반 바퀴 정도 굴른 것 같거든요.
Should they have moved in any direction, the ball back where it was.
가는데 움직이면 조금씩 움직이면 괜찮아요? 네. 네? 이건 괜찮아요? 뒤에 장애물?
스윙할 때 걸리는 이쪽으로.
네, 스윙 구역에 걸리면 기점은 밑으로 잡힐 가능성이 더 커요. 위쪽으로 멀어지니까. 사실 클럽을 가지고
네.
스윙을 하고 있어서 가장 피할 수 있는 부분이 이렇게 백스윙에다 걸리니까 밑으로. 이 판이 걸리지 않는 바로 밑이 기점이 되고.
여기만큼하고 이렇게 되는
네네네.
거예요.
일단 7클럽 가지고 기점 먼저 잡을게요.
아, 저 들어와 안 할게요.
그냥.
네, 네, 거기.
응?
핀까지 몇 미터였어요?
뭐라고?
핀까지 몇 미터였어요?
38. 엣지가 저 엣지가 110이고.
이 차이를 일단
치마를 그냥 낮게 쳐이 사이로.
All right, after our delay to make sure everything's done properly, EA1 plays her third shot from the hill. Interesting ball flight as she knew she had to avoid the trees. She is short of the green, but at least she is back and moving. Well, this must be understandably frustrating for EA1. You feel for her group mates as well. EA1's still not on the green. The other two have to keep waiting. Now shot number 4. She has 2 strokes to play with. At this stage, she's got higher ambitions than just making the cut. That second little chip takes her 2 pin high. Patience finally rewarded. Okay, so Yun from the rough. And about a dozen yards past the hole. That's what will be left for her birdie.
네, 알겠습니다.
No Sungi just inside the fringe and putting for birdie. And just outside. Well, a putt for the par, and she narrowly will make the cut for the weekend. Tied for 59th at even after she shoots a 2 over par 74 on Saturday. And Pei So-hyun, she is not going to make the cuts, and that's why you saw that look of borderline disgust. Had to wait about 6 minutes. And then once that ship went missed, she knew it was too little too late. I don't know that that makes it better. I think it might make it worse. 2 birdies through 6. She was cruising the defending champion. Quadruple bogey at 9, bogeys at 10 and 17, and we can now say officially we'll have a new champion as of tomorrow.
좀 봐드리자 이거는. 살짝 오르막.
One was a hopeful attempt for par. That will drop her to 1 under if, and presuming there are no further issues. That will be where she finishes the round. Tie for 46, the double, 3 bogeys and 3 birdies on the day. She makes the cut with 2 strokes to spare. And it looks like win number 4. We'll have to wait another week. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get you to today's second round highlights. 3 hours already in the books from Sunning Point. We'll start on 16. Shin Da-in was already leading this tournament. The 10 under par score, that was her tee shot at the par 3. Nearly an ace. She would settle for the tap and birdie. That 11 under score secured and would not be touched for the rest of the day. Now, that's not to say there weren't players that were worthy of following or who were on their own personal journeys. We would see Choi Lim, we would see Yu Hyun-jo, both finish at 7 under, and Ko Chi-won get to an 8 under score. This was on the last hole for Shin Da-in as she was once again showing off her incredible speed control with the putter. Tap in to secure the round of 66 bogey-free with 3 birdies on the front and back each. This is an incredible story in the making, no doubt about it. She's now made 10 cuts from 19 events this season, but the closest we've seen her to the top 10 was a tie for 14th twice. Shin Da-in will start the final round tomorrow comfortably, challenging for the win. This was a putt at number 9 to move one of the most informed players on the tour right now, Kochi 1, to outright second position. So with those first 4 players in the clubhouse, the afternoon crowd, the matinee golfers would take over. On hole number 1, the first of the back 9, it was a long overdue birdie for yesterday's leader, Chon Sung-hee. And then to 14 with Lee Dong-eun. Been a quiet day up until that point, and it got a whole lot louder with an eagle. And by quiet day, I mean quiet 90 minutes or so, because she was absolutely scorching hot out the gates with 4 birdies in the first 5 holes. Lee Ga-young, well, this was a very impressive putt worthy of revisiting. It was a putt at 14 to bring her back to not just even, but 1 better, securing her even. And on to 6, Kim Na-young made some fantastic shots today. Not many that could hold a candle to this effort, this setup, with a diagonal headwind, crosswind. Either way, it was a variable she had to account for. She did just that with birdie. She would add another on her 16th hole of the round to move to 5 under and knocking on the door of the top 10. And if you believe, she wasn't finished there either. 2 holes to play at this point when she made the approach to inside of a meter, meter and a half. She would birdie go to 5 under, a 6 under par score, which is where she would end up after hole number 36. Lee Ga-young with another birdie. Shot a 70 in the first round, a 69 today. She is at 5 under. And this was the grand finale. And here the galleries think for a moment, maybe we have another eagle to celebrate. It wouldn't quite be that, but it would be a birdie. And a very good one. 14 through 18 were a cakewalk for Lee Ga-young with an eagle and 2 birdies on the way, and she, as mentioned, just outside of the top 10 heading to tomorrow's final round. So Shin Da-in, 67 in the first round, 66 today. Her advantage over Kochi 1 is 3 strokes. We have Peng Min-ji, who shot a 71 today. She is at 5 under as well, just outside of the top 10, as she chases that elusive and historic 20th victory on the KLPGA Tour. Yoon So, the amateur, is in a fantastic spot after 18 holes. She is inside of the top 20 and all but has that low amateur wrapped up with just a few more formalities to take care of. A few +2s. EA1 was one of them. Hongji1 was another. They were fortunate that they had the holes to spare. Pacquiao only has 2 strokes to give away. She is even 1 under. Same with So-yeon Jung. And there you see that teal line. No Sung-hee just squeaks in with a par on 18. It would be a 74, but it would be enough to crack the top 68, at least at our last count. Time to say goodbye to you, our dear golf fans, and our sincere thanks for joining us once again on the KLPGA Tour. Tomorrow we'll crown a winner for the 14th time at the KG Ladies Open. Set your clocks back an hour. It will be a 1 p.m. local time start in Yongin. Until then, it's so long for now. Thanks for joining us on the KLPGA Tour.